Can you hear the birds in the background? They're saying it's a brand new day. It's a brand new way to live. It's a brand new way to be. It's a brand new way to show up in life, in the glory. You know, Dr. Schuller used to say, "This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and let us be glad in it." Today, you're listening to the Interfaith Ministries Worldwide program with me, Reverend Dr. Damien Calmetz, and the wonderful inspirational music of Prince Fleet Easton. Today, my talk is going to be on healing childhood trauma. All of us have been traumatized. But before we do that, let us let the music that we listen to become part of our breath. Picture just for a moment that we're walking into this beautiful garden. The birds are chirping. The sun's beginning to shine through. Oh, there's been a rain and the rainbows there, the rainbow of hope, the rainbow of many colors. Sitting in this garden, it's a garden of love, garden of many religions, garden of many philosophies. There's a little lady in the corner, she's lighting a temple, kind on the temple, she's praying. Gentleman saying a rosary right next to her. In the far off, there is a Buddhist monk that is doing a chant. There's the Islamic friend who has the prayer rug rolled out towards Mecca, saying a prayer. There's the New Age person who is saying a mantra. He's simply saying, and so it is. And then there's the Pentecostal person in there, raising their hands, singing out loud, "This is the day the Lord hath made, let us rejoice." And here we are embracing all thoughts, all paths to God, because God is one as we are one. And in this moment, as we're one, let us, in our collective consciousness, bring Ukraine into our consciousness. Let us envision healing. Let us envision wholeness. Let us envision peace. Let us envision love as some of these people are fleeing their homes for safety. But let us also envision the God of creation, the God of the universe, softening Putin's heart in this situation. Because it's only in softening his heart that the bloodshed in the war will change. So as we enter into this, let anxiety flow out of us. Let peace and love and light flow into our heart and life today. And so it is. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Damien. Well, you know, as I say every week, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. This is a way of life where we honor all paths to God. Oh, yes. Now's the time we take a deep cleansing breath all the way down to the soles of our feet. Quieting our bodies and quieting our minds. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk through my every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit, is in this very is in this Oh yes, God's power is right here in this very room. But oh, just give me that one moment in time when I'm all that I know I can be. Give me one moment in time when I'm all that I knew I could be. Oh, why there, in that one moment in time, I will be. Oh yes, we will be. We will be free. Oh, you're a winner for a lifetime. When you live each moment in time. Let it shine. Give me one moment in time when I'm all that I knew I could be. Oh, why then, in that one moment in time, I will be. Oh yes, we will be free. Oh, yes, we will be free. Oh, yes, we will be free. Well, once again, welcome to Interfaith Ministries Worldwide online service. As I said in the beginning, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. This is a way of life where we honor all paths to God. Our mission is to heal, inspire, empower, and prosper the world through love, prayer, meditation, and by sharing the principles and applications of successful living. Now, first of all, let me start off and let you know that if you are having a birthday, anniversary, any type of celebration, just know we are sending our love and blessings to you today. And if you or anyone you know is in need of affirmative prayer, please place it in the comment box and know that our ministry of prayer will pray over it for 30 days because we do know affirmative prayer does change things. Now, I know we have new viewers every week, so I always want to say this so they have an idea of what Interfaith Ministries is all about. It's what we believe. We believe in God, the one power, presence, source, and substance of all that is, whose will for us is eternal bliss, love, health, prosperity, and good fortune. We believe that God is within us and that we can use that power to accomplish anything. We believe there are many paths to God. We embrace and support every person's right to worship as he or she chooses. We believe in the law of life that states, we get back what we give out, and so it is. Well, here we are, the last Sunday of February of 2022. Wow, time is just moving forward, isn't it? Our theme for this month has been one love. I'm going to state our affirmation for you. I am love. I am light. I am connected to all that is divine. And so it is. Well, thank you so much now for your kind attention. At this time, I'm going to bring Reverend Damien back, who's going to do a beautiful reading for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Damien.
Thank you, Fleet. Usually I do a reading by some profound person, and today the reading is from myself. Perhaps I'm profound sometimes. Don't let your broken childhood past be the reason your bright future is broken too. And I'm also taking my reading from the Amplified Bible today. And the reading is from Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed and commissioned me to bring good news to the humble and afflicted. He has sent me to bind up the wounds of the brokenhearted, to proclaim, to release from confinement and condemnation to the physical and the spiritual captives, and freedom to the prisoners.
Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Damien. That was beautiful. Isn't this a beautiful day? Beautiful. Yes, we're waiting for the orchestra to warm up. Where are you? Hold on. Well, the orchestra seems to have went out on a break. So I'm going to sing the song for you without the orchestra. Bless the beasts and the children, for in this world they have no voice, they have no choice. Bless the beasts and the children, for the world can never be the world they see. Light their way when the darkness surrounds them. Give them love, let it shine all around them. Bless the beasts and the children, give them shelter from the storm. Just keep them safe, keep them warm. Light their way when the darkness surrounds them. Give them love, let it shine all around them. Bless the beasts and the children, give them shelter from the storm. Keep them safe, just keep them warm. Oh, the children, yes, the children. Oh, yes, bless the beast and the children. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Reverend Damien Calmet.
That was beautiful. A cappella and all, that was beautiful. So we're talking about healing childhood trauma. Now, the Casa Palmera Treatment Center says that childhood trauma can result from anything that makes a child feel helpless and disrupts their sense of safety and security, including sexual, physical, or verbal abuse, domestic violence, an unstable or unsafe environment, separation from a parent, neglect, bullying, serious illness, or intrusive medical procedures. It's a lot. That is a whole lot. We are a spirit based ministry. Sometimes when you listen to people talk or teach, they're trying to teach you something from the words they say. My life is the teaching. How I live my life is the teaching. Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. My relationship with myself, my relationship with you, my relationship with this vast godness and universe is all tied together. None of it is separate. I have learned that the secret of developing a loving relationship that can last over a lifetime is to understand the ways that childhood trauma has affected our lives. The way that we view God has to be the way that we've viewed our human father. The way that we view our human father, whether he's absent, then we view God as an absentee force in our life. If there has been a verbal abuse, a mental abuse, judgmentalism, then we view this loving godness as not so loving, but as judgmental. You cannot, you must do something different. You must be something different. I know In my own life, the first time that I made a connection about, you can be spiritual, do all the right books, go to all the right seminars, say all the right things, be the whatever right religion it is, and you can be miserable because you're viewing it as putting on a jacket rather than the spirituality being who you are, and realizing that the duality of who we are is a shadow and a grace and light side put together. Most of us are so focused on the shadow or the ego side, which is edge God out, that we occasionally go over to the grace and the light side, but we live more on the other side. I first made the connection about my life because here I was loving God, doing what I thought was right, and I was miserable, absolutely miserable. And I made the connection between my father's abandonment and my mother's abandonment and my adult depression, erectile dysfunction, okay, and attention deficit problems. I understood that it was the trauma of my mother leaving me at the hospital when I was born. I understood that it was my father saying, I don't want this child anyway. I understood that it was when, in the middle of the night, my mother simply disappeared and I never saw her again. I understood that it was the withdrawal and the constant worry of being safe that contributed to my fears of abandonment and ongoing beliefs that I wasn't safe. Now, when we have those as a childhood, no matter what the trauma was, the trauma could be that you've kicked your foot on a bed and you've injured your toe. That emotional trauma, that emotionality that goes with it, is something that we carry and we experience all of our life. Our brain uh, develops beliefs that were not enough. They develop beliefs, and in those beliefs, we try to reach out in our relationships to heal those things that are missing, to heal those stresses, and yet at the same time, what we start doing is we start attracting those to us because that's what we know. We know what abandonment is. We know what being put down is. You know, there are was a checklist that they developed when they were talking about people who had childhood traumas, and they asked questions. They asked 10 questions, and the questions were some of these were this: Did your parent or any other adult swear at you, insult you, put you down, act in a way that made you feel afraid, or that you might be physically hurt? Did a household member go to prison? All of those things affect us as children. And the study showed that over 2/3 of people in the study that they had developed at least 7 of the self-limiting beliefs in their life. The self-limiting beliefs: I am not safe, I am worthless, I am powerless, I am not lovable, I cannot trust anyone, I am bad, I'm alone. And those beliefs that we have stay with us in our adulthood. And folks, no matter how we get on our knees and pray, no matter how much we light a candle, no matter how many times I listen to Marianne Williamson or Dr. Wayne Dyer or Jana Van Sant or read Brene Brown, fabulous readings, or no matter how many times that I would go and I would listen to our founder, the late Dr. Sharon Stroud. The threads of these childhood traumas still stay with us. And we still live in that shadow. And sometimes they come really strongly through us, especially when we feel stressed. So, what do we do? How do we handle this? Do we ever get rid of them? It's an interesting question because last weekend I was doing a workshop on healing your inner child, and I'm bringing this to our attention today. And at the end of uh, March, I'm going to be in Chicago doing another workshop. And as I said earlier, not so much what I say is a teaching, but my life is the teaching. How I live my life, how I struggle through, just like you, okay? How I push through, how I move through the fear, how I move through the control, how I move through the acting out, how I move through the I'm bad, how I move through I hate myself, how I move through the disassociation with people. And these are things that we have to do over and over and over. I was telling a psychologist friend of mine this week, in fact, I was talking to two of them. I said, I did not realize how preparing the class for last week and how preparing the talk this week has triggered so much trauma. How the little triggers is bringing back so much of the things. And the greater the the amount of trauma that you've had, then you become more of a risk for substance abuse. Hello, I know that one. Alcoholism, smoking, sexual violence, and other negative outcomes. And the trauma leaves a trail of unhealed psychological injuries. And what I say all the time is this: what isn't healed from your childhood, you bring into your adulthood, and not just into the adulthood relationships, you bring into your romantic relationships. Look how many divorces we have. We divorce over the toast being burnt, okay, or whatever it is. We don't work out things where the truth is that every relationship you have is either a lover or a lesson. Now, it'd be great if it was both, but most of the time it's one or the other. So it's a divine contract that we have here because we are here to be the expression of God on this planet. We are here to be the expression of love on this planet. How does that how does that work? How do we say, uh, "Let there be peace on earth" when there's chaos going on within us? How do we say the things that we believe? That we believe that there are many paths to God when we're judging other people because we don't see ourselves in the other people. I often say, what I see in you, I see in me, because if I didn't know what it was, I wouldn't be able to name it. In men, especially, men sweep under the rug any childhood traumas because men are supposed to be strong. Men are supposed to not cry. Men are supposed to be a certain way. I remember my former wife one time, something had happened. I only don't even remember what happened, but something had happened and the tears began to roll down my face. And she said, are you a man or a sniveling mass of humanity? And I said, this is the last time you'll ever see me cry. And I was thinking about this just yesterday And I thought, it's very seldom that I ever cry because back at that time, something shut down the emotion that would have been the cleansing. So here's my point in this: it does not matter what the trauma was. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand me. When I was maybe 3, there's a scar on my back. It's about this big, where my mother poured hot grease. It's supposed to go on my head, and it went on my back instead. And I ended up in the hospital. And I remember saying, I'll be good. Whatever they want me to do and be, I'll be good. And for over 60 years, I never took my shirt off in public. I didn't want to do gym classes because you'd see the scar on my back. Emotionally, the scars on my face. I'm so ugly, nobody's ever going to want me. I'm not good enough. I'm worthless. How could I even show up in public? How could I even be on a cable or TV network as ugly as I am? All of those emotions. And when I was still the same age, one of her boyfriends, Christmas time, decided in a drunken state that he was going to take a pistol and put one bullet in it. And while they were singing Silent Night, Holy Night, and the carolers were out singing, I could hear them, he is putting the pistol in my rectum and playing Russian roulette. So when I talk to you about childhood trauma, I'm not talking to you about a theory. And every Christmas when we're singing Silent Night, Holy Night, my brain, my mind goes to that particular situation. 60 something years later. How do we work with those things? How do we handle those things? The pain does not go away. We learn how to handle the pain. If you're thinking that the pain is going to go away just magically from childhood trauma, you're mistaken. You don't use drugs because you're in pain. You don't use you're using drugs because you're in pain. You don't are in pain, and that's the reason you use drugs. Okay, it is that the reason that we mask things is because of the pain that we're in, and we need to learn how to name that pain, and to learn how to have the skills to be able to work with that pain. And to do this, we have to understand the emotion. Back on the track, the emotion that that pain caused us. It does not matter what the incident was. It does not matter the burning. It does not matter the gun. It does not matter the child molestation. What matters is, how did you feel when that happened? How did you feel? And how is that feeling coming through to you today? And what do you do to change the emotion? Those of you who've heard my talks on emotion understand that emotion is energy in motion. That's all it is. Energy in motion. You can never change energy. Energy can only be, I mean, you can never get rid of energy. Energy can only be changed or shifted. That energy is still there. So, how do we shift this negative energy that comes to us? This negative energy that in our adulthood causes chronic tension in us, where we tense up, and even when a situation isn't there, we're still tense. How do we change this energy that is a social anxiety disorder that we have that came from people verbally abusing us, and there's social withdrawal that we don't feel like we can fit into a crowd? How do we change this energy that when we're as adults in a persistent panic, when we have a hard time even going out? How do we change this energy of fear avoidance, that we're so fearful that we try to do anything to avoid fear? How do we change this energy of underachievement? This underachievement that leads us to the issues of depression and to low self esteem. How do we change that? First, we've got to, especially with men, we've got to change. We can't change what men think, but we can change what we think about men. What men have told us is that if we created a truly safe place and listened to their struggles, instead of telling them what they are and are not, we've got to change from telling people what they are and what they are not into listening to the struggles that people have. We have got to learn how to help men, help women, help people to become the people that they want to be. How do we do that? Now, it's not a perfect world, okay? And we're not going to do this perfectly. But we've got to learn how to live from that God consciousness that is from here. We've got to learn how to ask questions. What kind of person do we want to be? How do we want to show up in our lives? How are we going to move through the fear? So when you're feeling those emotions that come from the childhood trauma and fear is there, question to yourself, how do I move through this? How do I move into the grace and the light rather than the shadow? When you're being very controlling, because you're only being very controlling of somebody else because you don't have control of yourself. That's the real truth. How do we move into being less judgmental and being in the grace and the light? How do we move when we're acting out? Yes, yes, I still act out. Yes, I'm not immune from acting out. Yes, I still do the I'm bad. Yes, I still do the I hate myself. Yes, I still do the disassociation. But I'm not where I used to be on it. I'm not where I wanted to commit suicide on it. I'm where I recognize it, I'm aware. And being aware, I am able to take a moment and in that mode of clarity, in that moment in my mind, shift to the God consciousness, not the religious consciousness of now I lay me down to sleep, but the God consciousness. Dear God, where there is fear, in this moment, let me see grace. Let me see faith. Let me see love. Dear God, where I'm acting up and acting out, let me see that I am here to heal my own brokenheartedness, here to help other people heal their brokenheartedness. Dear God, I hate myself right now. Let me see myself like you see me, that is in love. Because when I see love in you and love in me and God in you and God in me, then there is only one of us here. And ladies and gentlemen, when there's only one of us here, there is perfect love here. There is perfect healing here. There is perfect forgiveness here. There are no wars here. Is no chaos here. There's no judgmentalness here. There is perfect love. And it is only that love that is going to bring to us the healing from depression, low self-esteem, and the healing to ourselves. Because the truth really is this, and I'm wrapping up with this. The truth is, we really do love people as much as we love ourselves. And the real truth is, the self love that we really need to know hasn't come to us because we haven't been willing to be honest about the trauma that we've experienced and take a look at it in the shadow and then bring the light into it. And the light will shine its grace, love, and faith upon the shadow. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reverend Damien. The orchestra came back from their break, so they're ready to play for you now. You've had to be strong for so long. You don't remember who you are. But when I see you, I see myself too. I know the child that's hidden in your heart. You're only human like me. You're lonely sometimes like me. You're longing for love like me. You're just like me. I know the ones who most hurt you are those you've trusted most of all. But to forgive them is to live again and heal the heart of that child so small. You're only human like me. You're lonely sometimes like me. You're longing for love like me. You're just like me. We cry for a safe place, quiet space to be, where a soul shows its true face, where love flies free. You've had to be strong for so long. You just don't remember who you are. But when I see you see, I see myself too. I know that child that's hidden in your heart. You're only human like me. You're lonely sometimes like me. You're longing for love like me. You're just like me. Oh, yes. You see, you're just like me. just like me. Oh, isn't that a beautiful song written by Mr. Daniel Nahman, who's one of my favorite songwriters. Now is the time they're going to take our offering. You know, we haven't been in a solid building for quite a long time. And now that Damien and I have taken over the ministry, we're still here online. And we need your support to help us with all the causes that we have that we're working on. A scholarship for Dr. Sharon in her name, shoes for Sharon, for those who are in need of shoes, helping the homeless, those who are in need of a meal. So your donations help fill all those needs right here at Interfaith Ministries Worldwide. So if you would take your offering in your hand right now and repeat after me. I give this gift with love and joy. I give this gift as a sacred expression of who I am. In giving to God, I give to myself. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine. And so it is. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Oh, let's rub our hands together. We're going to activate the 5 elements of the universe: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And we say, thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this abundance that is ours, pressed down, shaken, and overflowing it into all the areas needed right here at Interfaith Ministries Worldwide. As I said before, in giving to God, you give to yourself because it comes back tenfold. Damien, would you like to say a few words?
I actually would. Starting next week, we're now going to be on the Now Network on the East Coast, which reaches around 200 million people, Africa and the western part of Europe. We're also going to be on video on demand. Okay. They had been after me for about 3 or 4 years to be on their network, and I've been resisting because I'm kind of controversial. Okay. When it comes to religious kind of things, if you're not living it, it's not real. Okay, it's just another philosophy that you can pull out of the air. And part of what I'm about, Fleet, is like one of the things that I'm working on to bring to Palm Springs even is a transgender and spirituality forum, because so many people who are transgender feel that God doesn't love them, and that's not true. And there's so much judgment because of misunderstanding. You know, we tend to misunderstand what we don't know or what we haven't experienced.
Exactly.
And if we want to be around people that are like us, and the thing is, people who don't look like us are like us on the inside. If we could really get through the crap and look on the inside and see who people are. And this is one of the reasons for going more nationwide on this. And one of the things that I wanted to say is that you that watch, if you would like a weekend conference workshop where we really do some deep work on the inner child and helping you to realize the godness, the light, the grace that's already within you to unfold that, I'm happy to come and do that at no cost to you. Okay, that you pay for the transportation, you pay for a place for me to stay, you give me some food to eat. Okay, because I want all of us to be one. I want all of us to be together like we're supposed to be. I want to see God in you and you see God in me. But as Fleet was talking about the finances for the different things that we would like to do, to there's homeless abounds. Okay, in Los Angeles, there's over 60,000 homeless people downtown in tents. Some of it by choice, some of it by whatever happens. A lot of people circumstance. You found out during the pandemic, people are just that close to being homeless. So change our consciousness, broaden our consciousness to worldwide mankind rather than just our own little group.
Right, exactly. And also, we want to thank you for coming along on this journey with us. We are a new fledgling organization. We took over for Dr. Sharon Stroud, and we want to make her proud and take this, as she always says, we're going higher yet. Ah, yes. Well, it is in every one of us. You know that. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, you and I. It's in every one of us, you and I. Oh, yes, it's in every one of us. Thank you once again for joining us today. As I always say in the beginning of the service, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. This is a way of life where we honor all paths to God. Now, until next week, go out and have a beautiful, blessed life. Take care, and God bless.